Today, we are taking a look at gaming benchmarks for the Flow X13 laptop from Republic of Gamers. The world's first 13-inch, ultra-portable, thin and light gaming laptop hybrid. If you have been thinking of buying this laptop, and you are not sure which graphics configuration to get, follow me as I take you through the different graphics configurations. I will also let you know which configuration I think gives you the best value for money. These are all the GPU configurations available for sale at the time of posting this video. Let's take a look at gaming benchmark results. All tests was done using the laptop's native screen, running at 1080p resolution in the game's built-in benchmark, with graphics quality set to ultra. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a game I have tested many times in other comparisons and laptop reviews. 78 frames per second at ultra settings is a fair result for the Flow X13 with the external GPU that houses an RTX 3080 with 16GB of video RAM. It falls in line with other RTX 3080 laptops I have tested earlier in the channel. The 8% increase over the RTX 3070 was also expected, as other laptops I tested before had shown similar results. There is quite a big drop to the next level, with more than half of the frame rates gone. Considering this is a AAA title, tested at ultra settings, 35 frames per second is not bad for an RTX 3050 Ti in such a slim device. Assassin's Creed Origins was tested with the same conditions, at 1080p and ultra settings. The FPS difference between RTX 3080 and RTX 3070, both tested with the external GPU, was 6%. Between the RTX 3050 Ti and RTX 3050, the difference was just 2 FPS on average. Moving on to a more action-packed game in Far Cry 5. There wasn't a big difference at the top. Above 100 frames per second are good results for this game. You can expect a 10% jump with the RTX 3050 Ti over the 3050, if you choose to play on the Flow X13 without the external GPU. In Gears 5, the difference between RTX 3050 and the Ti version was 6% on average, and 23% performance difference between RTX 3050 and GTX 1650. Horizon Zero Dawn has an excellent benchmark app when it comes to comparing graphics card potentials. The 3080 in the XG Mobile Station was on average 9% faster than its brother, and RTX 3050 Ti was 5% ahead of the 3050. Between the 3050 and 1650, the average FPS difference was measured to 24%. Metro Exodus is a GPU-heavy title, and the difference between RTX 3080 and 3070 external GPUs was measured to 18%. There was barely any difference between the cheaper cards, as these were bottlenecked by the GPUs in this heavy graphics test. In RDR2, the relative difference between the best graphics cards was around 5%, and 8% between RTX 3050 Ti and 3050. 21% difference between RTX 3050 to the lowest graphics option, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There was little to separate the two cards at the top, and 8% between RTX 3050 and the Ti version. 24% performance difference between RTX 3050 and GTX 1650. Total War, 3 Kingdoms, with the eGPU, you can hit pretty high frame rates in this strategy game. The RTX 3080 was 11% in front of the RTX 3070, while RTX 3050 Ti was 12% faster compared to RTX 3050. Between RTX 3050 and GTX 1650, the difference was 34%. In Warhammer II, the same trend continues, with the RTX 3080 ahead of the RTX 3070, while RTX 3050 was trailing the Ti version by 10%. Troy, a Total War Saga saw a 5% gain with the highest graphics option. Between RTX 3050 Ti and 3050, the gap came down to 9% on average. In Tom Clancy's The Division 2, the relative FPS difference between RTX 3050 and RTX 3050 Ti was 8%. 25% difference between RTX 3050 and GTX 1650. Watch Dogs Legion at 1080p. I cannot say that this game is playable with any of these three cards without the eGPU, not with ultra settings. This game requires a lot of video RAM at higher settings. With the external eGPU attached, it reaches above 70 FPS in the game's built-in benchmark app. Here are the results averaged out across all 13 games tested, as I plotted the sum of average FPS in all games. The 35-watt RTX 3050 was on average 25% faster versus the GTX 1650, while trailing RTX 3050 by 10%. If you are interested to see how the 80-watt version of the RTX 3050 fares against the Ti version, head over to my other video where I compared the two in 20 games. My recommendations is simple. If you plan to use the Flow X13 as a gaming device, you need the external XG Mobile GPU, especially at ultra settings. However, if you are a casual gamer, using the Flow X13 as a multimedia device, or as a regular laptop, the standalone unit will do the trick. Depending on what type of games you play, and the settings, you may choose between the RTX 3050 or the cheaper GTX 1650 version. The Ti version is not really worth the extra money in my opinion, unless you have no other configuration available. Drop me a comment if this was the only place you could find benchmark results of all GPU configurations of the Flow X13, and remember to leave a like on the video.